Hello, welcome people to the 90s, the 1990s. Yeah. Anyway, Timmy Alexandros has been back at the range. She's been pacing around. There's like training. I imagine what the way the pack has had themselves so organized. There has been various training yards, various things. So, young little Artemi has been taking advantage of that. So much so that her sword skills and her various melee skills have, well, they've been taking a rather neat shine to them, really. She has been a lot more angrier than she normally is. She's been, after she's done the kind of the real focused forward training, she comes into the house and eats food, but it's that, when you eat when you're annoyed about something, you don't really enjoy it like you normally do, that amazing, lovely Greek food that she makes. It's not nice because she's annoyed. So she eats it annoyed because it just doesn't taste the same. And she realizes it's one day from going off, and that's why. So she just fucks it in the bin. Because fuck, I've been so distracted I didn't get to eat any of the yogurt. So she just throws it all in the bin all angrily and then stomps around. But no, that's fine. No, it's fine. She probably goes into Jacqueline's room, takes out one of her nice shoes, throws it out the window, walks back out again. She feels a bit better about doing that. Then we'll go back outside and just go, and then we'll go to pick up one of the spare blades that she has and just twack it into one of the posts that she uses to train.
And after that entertaining bout of running amok, there's never any telling what Featherlight's up to. She gets spotted here and there doing Therage things. In this case, what she does is she's just kind of there very abruptly. Has probably been snooping the whole time. Watched Artemi just huck things into the garbage, throw things out the window. And when she finally hucks the fucking blade into the post, pops up next to her. You're angry.
It's at this like, you know what I mean, Joe? And you're like, it's like that, you're angry, and she kind of it's not like she jumps, but it's that kind of like rapid blink over.
Like, dude, why would you do that?
Yeah, for a split second, Featherlight might think she might snap back and just crack her or something, but no, she's like, Essentially, I'll demonstrate by L zoom. There you go.
Blink, blink.
Don't sneak up on me like that, Jesus.
You marched right by me. You weren't paying attention. You are angry.
I am not. I'm fine.
You're a very bad liar.
Maybe.
Why are you angry?
There's several reasons why I'm angry.
Tell me. Leans over like to do the it's that like just bump of shoulder to shoulder for half a second. The dunk.
Because our set beta, and while her intentions may be good, she is proving to be doing something wrong by a man, and now look what's after happening. That body we probably found is that woman.
Very
all because
probably.
she couldn't cover, all because she didn't respect her husband enough to keep him safe and out of the loop. She left him there on his own. And I understand the need. I understand the sympathy for it. I do. I sympathize with it. But look what's after happening.
Why did she do it?
Because she feels grief as much as anybody else, which is fine. Grief is, again, I'm not going to dismiss grief, but it would be considered selfish just to think that you grieve alone. Wouldn't it?
It is also generally considered bad form to leave a kinfolk abandoned.
That's the thing. He's unknowing. He's human, I think.
I am not so sure.
Well, even then, that's even worse. Because he was... Look what happened.
I can probably keep him stable, though the cost will grow over time.
The cost will grow over time, and she's denying her responsibility.
She is.
And I understand. I don't want to think bad of the sect.
But you are having thoughts? It's a coaxing glance. It's inquisitive. It's not. Let's face it. For one, it's Artemi, and for two, it's Artemi. So it doesn't seem nasty or digging or prying. It's just inquisitive.
It's more, why are we constantly keeping secrets from one another? Why are we constantly undercutting each other?
I believe it is called poor discipline and leadership.
I keep... Let's out of breath. Clenched her fist a bit.
Why else?
Jacqueline lied to me.
Did she? I did get the impression, seeing as you were on quite the tangent about lying earlier. But what did she
lied
lie
to me
you about?
Look over. The Alpha's wife is abusing him. Struck him in a bout of rage.
Oh. That must be where the blood came from. Rubs her cheek thoughtfully.
Blood? Yeah, They want children, and the argument grew out of hand, and she struck him.
That seems patently unwise.
Considering what moon it was the night this supposedly happened, it speaks more of a testament to his self-control, if anything.
It does to explain him panting outside in Krynos after the altercation, as opposed to being calmly in his office.
It was his moon when it happened, so...
Yes, it was.
But the woman told Jacqueline. I had noticed some things were wrong previously, and I thought, considering the Alpha came to me personally to ask me advice, I thought perhaps it was a simple disagreement, something that could be easily solved, you know? Something guided hands are always needed. My tribe specializes in healing just as much as recovery, you know?
She nods.
Then I was told the similar information about how she was and how upset she seemed, and I took it for what it was, because why would I not trust Jacqueline to tell me things? So I went out and did my training and planned how I was going to approach this. And David came out and told me that Jacqueline had lied and didn't trust me with the information. But this happened.
It sounds as though Jacqueline needs to learn.
And then I confronted her. She rubs her face, and fair light say it, that is a rune trying to come up with the words, but is so angry at the idea of it that just words don't formulate. You know what I mean? Have you ever been so angry trying to think about something and you just get angry and you just can't say it even? It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that.
It's funny because to most people, Featherlight being so still and so quiet all the time is generally kind of eerie. In this particular instance, it might be a little bit soothing. She's not rocked or shaken. She's calm. She's not oblivious. She doesn't not have an opinion. But she's just very mellow, very patient, and lets Artemi pace and rub her face and grumble and
She
punch things and whatever it takes to get herself to
she
where she
said
can say it.
it was just a disagreement and nothing serious. Just a disagreement. And that it would cause scandal. That I would cause scandal by saying it aloud.
No, she cares so much about the Alpha's reputation.
No, she cares so much that it was a mere scandal. That it was nothing serious, just a minor dispute. A minor dispute. That domestic violence is a minor thing. Simply brushed under the carpet.
I see why you're angry.
And that she doesn't trust me.
An ironic thing to say when she has only proven herself distrustful or untrustworthy.
It's because I know why. It's because I'm not from here.
Neither am I.
No, but
Neither is David.
Dave is the Shadow Lord and you're Noctena.
And you are the beta. Not Jacqueline.
I know. Well, maybe it speaks to my failures as the beta.
Or perhaps it speaks to her failures as a reliable packmate who can report accurately to her alpha or her beta. If it was to speak to your ability, David wouldn't have told you, would he? If you
Maybe.
were the kind
Maybe.
to react poorly, to do the wrong thing, he wouldn't have told you, would he?
Perhaps. Now I've after just been in my head the entire time, and then when that woman insulted me, blatantly insulted me, because I was trying to help and not have, while I understand the Raya's may have a strong word, they're still get a Fenris. And she looked like she was about to do something foolish, no matter how good intentioned. It was still foolish. And
It
I'm
was
a
still
coward.
dangerous. Trying to preserve a kinfolk through their own self-destructive behavior. That does not make you a coward.
And you know what? I snapped. You know, Layla, my sister Layla, would have killed her for that.
It was a very fortunate thing that you are not Layla.
And yet
Else you would have
now,
had a dead kinfolk.
but yet nobody defended me.
It was finally the reach out.
So I'm treated as if, be careful around Artemi. I'm the one who's insulted.
Oh, not at all. Does
And
make an
now,
attempt to kind of coax her.
and now she'll try
Closer.
and while I understand, and I'm very happy that she's going to give me a job, because what, I showed violence? I understand it, and I want to think the best of it, but Featherlight.
I did
Does it?
not fail to defend you because I did not think you were worth it. I stood by because you are capable of defending yourself, and I would not take this from you. But I was right beside you. And even I grew angry as her tongue wagged.
Now she wants to offer me a job, and
Do you know why she spoke the way she did? Do you want the job? Do you want to be closer to her so that you can understand why she has done these things?
I
Or do you wish to
should.
be far away?
I should. It's the right thing to do. But
But,
is it selfish of me to feel insulted?
oh no. Is it selfish of her to ask you for something in return when you have already had to tolerate her insults, her bucking up?
No.
Then, if you do not wish to, do not do it. She has done you a disservice and then asked you a favor. If you do not wish to do it, do not do it. If you do decide to do it because you have decided.
I'm conflicted, and it's. You know, I think if Jacqueline hadn't have lied to me, I probably would have just gone along with it. Because I would have just plowed ahead trying to do the right thing.
It was a very hard day.
Just getting tired of being lied to and insulted, that's all.
I suppose the question is Artemi letting Featherlight kind of try to slowly coax her back
I mean,
in?
she's not stopping you. She doesn't. There's no mistrust there. It's just that poor girl is she's wound up tighter than like a fucking Gordian knot. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's more a matter. It's not that she would mistrust so much as she's an Arun and she's angry and she's edgy and she might not want to be touched and she might not want to be close. So it's
more
careful.
Artemi doesn't know what to do at the minute because you've got rage, you've got emotion, you've got this. She doesn't know what to do with her hands. I have all this trauma and I don't know what all this upset and I don't know what to do with these hands.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Pretty
And
much.
Featherlight's essentially just it's that slow, a little tug here, a little step in from her side, and eventually to the point where she can reach up and she's got those like slender fingers, her nails, she keeps them fairly long, and she's just beginning lightly to comb through the ends of Artemi's hair. Little kind of fond grooming gestures, essentially. An attempt to slowly maybe help with the disarming process. And is there anything else that has made you angry?
The worm, but that's it's nothing.
That is perpetual.
Just some of the things have made me angry, but I exterminated that banshee viciously. I'm angry that the sun's body has been defiled in such a way, and that she just lets out a couple of frustrated breaths.
Would you feel better if we found it?
Of course, that's things like that should be put to rest. And the man who made a deal with the spirit, he can be settled, and I'm not angry at that. My bowl does not lie.
Your bull does not lie.
I know that. My bowl does not lie. She just gives that certainty, like, I know this is the truth, and I trust that. You know what I mean? So you can tell, she's not trying to disbelieve things. That's one of the few things she is certain about. Her bowl does not lie. You know what I mean?
I have to wonder whether he was lied to by a
Perhaps
middleman or by the spirit herself.
or he could have misread the deal.
It is possible. But these things are usually very clear.
It depends. Sometimes spirits do often.
They do have a way of speaking. This is finally a faint smile.
So perhaps we should talk to him again and perhaps understand the exact terms. That's what I was thinking.
We will. Or we will speak to her.
Did you speak to the Fianna?
I did.
Just nods, like, okay, that's good.
I spoke to the Fianna, and David is to get me books. The Fianna, he is no Theurge. He does not know all the intricacies, and as loath as I am to turn to human knowledge, spirits are shaped by belief. They embody what we know them to be, what we want them to be. So even human stories, they will carry a grain of truth in them. Still playing with the hair. And so I will have David find the books and read me the stories. And it will give me greater insight into her eccentricities so that I can speak to her from a better point of knowledge, from a point of surety. It is, after all, sometimes better to go to the source to get the answers.
Yes.
And as for the boy, I'm learning the right, and if you wish, I'll teach it to you. Surely we can find one body.
Just a nod. I could do that.
We'll set your heart at ease. Yes?
Of course. Just tired of how I'm being treated within my own pack. I'm already anxious enough as it is.
I'm sure that Jacqueline will learn her lesson.
It's just the more way everybody sees me. Everybody tries to sell me like they're. Everybody talks to me like they're the fucking goddamn politician, fella, like. And I trust them and I put faith in them and I. It just feels like they don't trust me.
Would you like me to tell you a secret?
Depends.
It's my secret to tell.
It gives that like. Do you know what I mean? That kind of like if you're gonna tell me a secret and do you know what I mean? It's that kind of I'm still grumpy but sure, but do you know what I mean?
Oh, if you are trusted by Tenno, isn't that worth something?
It
I
is.
did not tell all of my dream. And I slept for so long.
Well, what did you see?
I saw a woman, either an Tenno, probably kinfolk, very, very old. Her hair was in braids. She wore the deerskin tunic, very old. And every day she came out and waited as her mate came back to her riding a horse. And he would dismount and they would embrace and they would go inside. Over and over, I watched them. And she came out and waited for him every day. And this was a pattern. It wasn't that something changed each day, but it was. Perhaps it was the part of her life that she remembered the most fondly. Maybe that is why I saw it. And so she continues. It gets kind of focused more on the hair than on Artemi's face. Just combing, parting, tucking behind the ear, maybe even beginning lightly to, do a small braid. And one day, they both mounted the horse. And they went far, far out into a place that was great and flat and clear. I told you the mountain to the one side and the lake to the other, but a great flat expanse. And there was a ritual being prepared. I saw the marks on the ground, I saw the glyphs, but I did not know them. But what they did when they began together to enact the ritual. And she kind of licks her teeth for a second, which is weird with the snake tongue. It struck such terror into my very bones that it rocked me awake. Like when you have a nightmare and something lunges, and at that moment where you know you would die, your body forces you awake, rejects it. That is what this ritual did. It was either some very great and horrifying work or some very terrible and horrifying work, and until I find similar marks to those of the ritual, I won't know the difference. All I know is that I could feel my soul practically trying to slither out of my body to get away from it. Have you ever been so afraid? She kind of tips a glance around at her.
Yes.
Unfortunate. I have not. And I did not relish it. Of all the things, there's just that tiny little. I'm gonna give it to Artemi because familiarity, but it's almost like grumpy, and she's just like, and I didn't like it because she is never supposed to be the one who was afraid, and it rocked her, and she's going to keep it far, far down beneath that perfect sociopath mask. But oh, she didn't like it. I wonder if she was the voice on the phone.
Which voice?
I went to show the others the house, the one that stands empty. There's no electricity. There's not properly running water. It is empty. It is abandoned. It is a forgotten place. And so I have been claiming it. I have welcomed in the spirits. And I have welcomed them in to make it their home. Not a home for humankind, not something they would recognize or be pleased with, but those spirits that are too infrequently offered a bastion. And so there are chills, there are breezes, there are places where there are stains or spider webs. And as we went in, the phone, she actually kind of glances, it's very brief. She steals a glance back at the barn. It rang. It rang until I answered. And there was a voice. It was very brief. But there should not have been any phone. There should not have been ringing. The others did not hear it. But that is why I took the phone. It connected me to someone it shouldn't have.
The wild does strange things.
It does. Just there's almost an immediate change of inflection, just kind of pleased with that answer. It does. But if I wish to understand the secret it's trying to tell me, I need it to call again, and so I have taken the phone.
I
And I brought it here.
could go with you. After all, nobody, as much as we are in the city, the daughters of Pegasus often find their home in the wild, no matter how chaotic and how fluctuating it is. It all serves the greater role.
The children of Pegasus, the daughters of Pegasus, are ever and always tied close to the wild. But did you know? She finally tucks the braid back behind her hair, or behind her ear, and leans in. What my people say of the half-born.
No.
They believe. They tell me that we are closer to the wild.
Why is that?
We are in the between place, created in chaos. We are closer. There's so much of the spirits, so much of the wild in us. Any wonder that we become changed? That it
True.
is too much to pass on.
It all depends on who spins the thread, really. That is the way the wild works.
It is. She looks at least a bit pleased with herself as she stands back upright again. Just that, Otherlight doesn't smile in an earnest way very frequently, and it's still probably eerie to an onlooker, but it's Artemi. She actually, that is a pleased little smile. But it is the way of the world, too, not to know or understand who is doing what or why.
It's not.
But I would be happy to have you with me. Perhaps you come with me the next time that I go there. To speak to the spirits, to meditate, to ensure that all is still balanced in the house. And then on the other side, she turns a glance over towards the old man's house. There's all the wholesome little seeds of creation. Strange dichotomy, and we are right in the middle between them. He finally looks back. Are you still angry?
Not for you.
Of course not. But are you?
In ways. Are you alright?
It should be a very somber day when I am not stable.
Never said you're not stable. I just noticed that you awkwardly approaches. He looked a bit jumpy.
Featherlight is not going to gonna skitter from Artemi. Artemi's one of the people that she will not slither away from, even defensively. And if that is what a nightmare is like, I do not like it.
It's not waiting for you.
I am not accustomed to being upset with the potential of becoming more enlightened. There are secrets in that dream. I should want them.
Nod. There are many things we'll be dealing with. Some things we'll have to see too.
What do you mean?
Oh well. There were wormish entities which I will have to face.
Oh, of course.
Ones that seek to corrupt places of the wild with worm taint.
As they ever do.
Then I could tell you a secret.
Here's a curious glance, the slow look over, like, oh, really?
I informed David of potential threat to us. It's nothing serious. It's potential threat. It's at a breath. They're known as the Ashcroft family. They work with a wormish cult known as the Hands of Erebus. Erebus is, in the Greek term, he's one of the primordial deities, the personification of darkness, what we would know that as the abyss.
Are they here?
Possibly.
What have you seen?
I have seen, not here. I've not seen them here, but I've seen them in Europe. The family specialized along Mediterranean exploits, archaeological dig sites, our old tombs.
Places they are not wanted.
No, of course not. But I encountered one of them, a servant of theirs, and before he died, he told me that they were planning to come to America to corrupt various wild locations.
And it's one of those things where there's a long, very still stare before finally the tongue flicks out and she just kind of gets a little distant-eyed. Thoughtful. It's just funny because it seems like the more that she forgets herself and gets thoughtful, the more frequently the tongue flickers out.
Now, the symptoms and signs of them are not there. Their symptoms are two snakes interlocking with each other. Amidst the worm, wish glyph. It's not them. Their chanting is in Greek.
There's more thought, more flickering of the tongue, and finally she turns a glance.
But what
I'll need more books.
I did not tell David, he asked me how did I know them. I mentioned, of course, I encountered them, but there's a very personal reason for the Ashcroft family.
And what is this?
When I was very when I was but a human, unchanged, well kinfolk now. Takes a long breath. Layla and I lived on the island. Layla came to my father after her mother had died, just after mine had died, and he was to raise both children. We met these two men on the island. It was tourist season. We see it often. People from different countries would come here, various reasons. So it did not surprise any of us that they were here to study and to enjoy the sun. Layla distrusted them, but I encouraged her. We, we drank. We kept wandering around the town together. We did this for about 2 weeks. Then, one night, they had asked me to come on a jog to the hills with them, towards the old temple of Apollo. Something felt off. I could feel it. I couldn't tell you what it was. Something felt off. However, I noticed then, I stayed at home. I noticed then that Layla did not return. I grew worried, and that fear you talked about began to grip me. Because Layla was the only person I have. The person I have, aside from my father, and he's all the way back in Noxus. So I ran to the hills, the woods, my feet blistering, but I could feel this rage building. And I ran and I ran. As I got to the hills of the temple, I heard her crying, screaming. And I ran, and I found they had tied her to one of the pillars. I don't know. I later understood that she had first changed, or they had prompted a first change and waited till she was so exhausted. And there is a strange energy emitting from the glyphs of the pillars. And they chanted about corrupting daughters of Artemis and Apollo, and to spawn something known as a harvester or something warmish. Then time slowed down, and I saw a woman with red serpents in her hair telling me that it is time for judgment and time to awaken. And I changed. And I butchered them. And I painted that temple with the red of their blood. And I woke up in my father's room.
with a large woman staring over me. Saying that I was to go with her and Layla would be going to a different island. That's the personal reason I have for hunting down that family. For attempting to erupt my home and my sister. Hurting her. She's a strong Black Fury now. But I won't ever forgive them for what they did to her.
Nor should you. Never forgive these transgressions.
No, I don't. I just. I don't know why I didn't tell David about. They only know Layla as my sister, but I did not tell them about her fully.
She reaches over, begins, plucking out strands for another small braid. Will it hurt them not to know?
No, but
Then it is your secret. Until you wish to tell it.
she leans in. Layla distrusts Shadow Lords.
And what do you intend to do when you do find her?
She's here. She's off doing her business. Doing what she always does. Protecting everyone. I don't know. But she's my sister. I trust her with my life. And you are my pack. She'll believe me, right? She'll understand, won't she?
And as she's working her way back, kind of French braiding her way along. I could not say. I don't have much experience with siblings.
Oh, she takes that long breath, like, oh. Looks so defeated, like, oh.
But if she is anything like you are, surely she will understand.
She is angrier than I am.
Mm.
But that is not her fault.
She is in a room. Yes?
Nods, we're both runes.
You are. Very even-tempered for an Arun. Artemi, it is not so surprising that she is angry. Does she have a pack?
More than likely at this point. She'll smirk.
Then surely she has a knowledgeable Ragabash to temper her outbursts.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Layla trusts me, and I trust her. She'll.
Then surely it will be no great trial in the long run, even if it seems like one in the moment. I'll put it this way: Featherlight is even pulling out little bits of It probably looks like like sinew or something. For like dried sinew is a type of thread. So it's probably what she's pulling out and nipping short to tie the little bit of braids. Essentially, slowly beginning to freshen our Timmy's hair up to where the braids on one side kind of lead up and then feed back into the rest of her hair, but give almost the impression of an undercut on one side?
It's hard. I'll put it like this. It's kind of hard. Artemia has such thick hair. There's so much hair. Like, look at that. Just, holy shit.
It's a lot of hair. It's really thick. Heatherlight is, however, incredibly patient, and she's got surprisingly good finger dexterity.
I'll put it like this. You get a lot of decent stuff. This is the closest picture I can get. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Just imagine that the one whole side is braided to the point where it almost looks like an undercut, but the braids end as soon as it goes up to meet the rest of the hair so that it, the rest of the mass just kind of...
Yeah, I'll put it like that. That woman has big, thick volumes of, like, curly black hair. You know what I mean? It's like, boof, hair.
And surely, even if it is a trial in the moment, it is a trial for that moment, not for this one. Nothing you should worry yourself about.
Of course I worry. Yeah. Of course I worry.
And what happens when you worry?
I've been worrying about it since I came here. She'll smile.
Has it made it any better?
No, but I can still do it. She gets that stubborn, like,
Has it made you any more sure of the outcome?
No. But maybe. I have over 56 plans.
Is there any more that you could possibly do to ensure?
I could make a 57 plan. She says, stubbornly lifting her nose up.
Well, then your trouble will be choosing between them when the time comes instead of fretting over what to do. It will just be a different kind of fretting over what to do.
I'll put it like this, Katie. Just get the right picture for this. There are some funny ones when you say that. Oh, you're gonna have to choose between all these plans, or Timmy, and there's just like, where is it now?
How dare you?
Okay, see, look. Oh, what? No.
Oh, unless you plan to do all 56 of them simultaneously, in which case I will be watching in anticipation.
Well,
Fretting will only turn your hair gray.
I won't.
There's finally the beginnings of a smile. Just the little quirk at the corner of the lips.
Because that was goddamn adorable.
Exactly. Oh, I'm quite sure that is what they tell me. Fretting turns your hair gray. You keep on like this, you'll be ready for grandchildren in no time. Kind of like flits her with a bit of her own hair. Just lightly. Surely there are things that you can fret over, where you can accomplish something with your fretting. Things that need plans. The audacity.
Look, I'm not angry. I am angry. No, that's a lie. Fucking bad lie.
You are bad at lying. I find it very endearing.
Look, it's the points I raised are still valid. I fight for this pack a lot.
So you do?
I'm finding it hard to whether it's my fault or theirs, and I'm very over self-critical, and I'm blaming myself, but I do feel like nobody wants me here.
Do you think that I would lie to you if I thought you were doing
I was
wrong?
literally, I was about to not finish my sentence. I was that little
She
fucker,
quiets up and lets her dib.
Aside from you, that's most. I get the impression most of the pack don't really respect me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, and they're Shadow Lords and Silver Fangs. And,
do you think the other two respect anyone?
Well, they should.
Oh, they should, certainly.
I respect them.
That is because you understand how these things are done
If I
and
didn't
how
respect
respect
them,
breeds respect.
if I didn't respect them, I wouldn't have joined the pack and accepted the beta position.
If I did not think that you were worthy of Beta, she just sways in a little. And it's funny because to anyone else it would probably seem threatening. And she just sways in to say it next to her ear. I would have taken it. Better yet says, I would have taken it off you. And then she sways away again, but thankfully this is not the case. You're a fine Beta, Artemi. And if the others lack respect, well, our Ragabash is still a
Yeah.
child.
She's not even cut out for that.
Is a child, and so I dare say there are other ways to teach a lesson. Just,
I-
still so
I-
happily just patting her hair
I-
into place.
Alexandra's capable. It's just she requires a lot of work. All the pained voice. She's like, I'm trying to be positive, but it makes it so hard. It's really
And she
genuine. Like
does.
Archie's like, I'm trying, so but I don't. You,
You have a kind of patience that is very rare in your auspice.
it's. I don't want Alexandra to do it because I don't think she'll say what needs to be said the right way.
Oh, I'm not suggesting Alexandra do it. Don't you worry about Jacqueline.
I mean, I've been saying everyone, so we'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna go train and die in my awkwardness.
That seems unnecessary.
It is completely.
Do not be awkward. She finally reaches over and reaches out and takes Artemi by the cheeks and pulls her chin up, like pulls her up, which is kind of funny because she's already taller than Featherweight.
Yeah,
She's
but
got to
I have
really
to-
reach up to do it.
America's go.
Put the chin. Yeah, she reaches up and pulls her up. You're not awkward. You're
No.
Beta.
Yeah, well, I don't feel like a beta. She's starting to just walk over back to the training gear.
You should be careful. If I got the impression that you were losing your confidence, I would have to follow you around and lavish you in compliments until you decided to believe them to make me stop.
Look over.
I would use a distressing amount of reason to back my logic.
It'd be nice to hear other than how people are trying to sell it because they think I'm not going to be capable of comprehending politics. It would be nice to actually hear someone say something positive.
Oh. Well, in that case. And Featherlight will absolutely follow her and proceed to give the most horrifyingly, logically backed. I'm trying to think of what to even call it. It's just the most terrifyingly astute assessment of what makes Artemi fit, giving numerous examples from missions, from time at the house, from how she handles the kinfolk, from how she handles the humans, which she does surprisingly well when they don't run. And it really is. It's just the no. You can sit here and have your little I have lacking self-confidence, and now I'm going to break it all down for you so you can't deny that these are
Now
facts.
you're mine.
Yes. It's weird because it's very endearing, but at the same time, it's like being complimented by Captain Spock. It's It's
You
a
are highly
strange
logical.
strange place to be, really.
But
The
to be
Feyarch don't
honest,
let up, though.
It might, I don't know. Federalite doesn't strike me as too much of a sociopath because she obviously gives a shit about Artemi. Might soften her heart a bit. She actually brightens when you pay her an honest to God compliment because she's been getting nothing but criticisms about how she's not seeing the. You know what I mean? When you're faced with just criticism, you know what I mean? When someone actually gives, like, if she does a particular thing well, and Federalite goes, you see, that's why you're a good beta because you also are very good at ruining. She brightens because you gave her an honest to God compliment.
Oh yeah. Well, Featherlight has studied Artemi for a very long time. It makes her both well equipped to have this conversation, for all that she is not the most cloying and sociable in Blair. She's just got that obnoxiously undeniable logic behind it, and well, sooner or later it's gonna make headway. And she knows it will make headway. Artemi can't help herself. And she'll continue until Artemi is brightened up a bit and hey, maybe even fed herself something that wasn't a day off. And then we'll be content.
So
And shove her in a shower.
Would you like to be in their butt?
I would.
But
And so, we should say, thank you players for playing, and watchers for watching this weirdly wholesome interaction. Da-na-na!